Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and celebrations all around Facebook and YouTube and anybody who watches this. The favorability rating for Andrew Yang just made huge leaps and bounds, 15 points, leapfrogging Mr. Chuck E. Cheese himself, Pete Buttigieg. I'm sorry, that's rude, that's awful. I just, we're no better than Trump when we do stuff like that. To be fair, you got to be kind of self-introspective. But that's here nor there. I think there was a Morning Consult survey that was just done recently, and there was 2 articles about that survey done by Newsweek and The Hill, yep, in which Yang jumps 15 points in favorability. I don't know, like there was like a 5-point jump for a couple other people like Amy and Tom. My son calls him Tom because of the videos. He calls him Tom. He's like, shut up, Tom, all the time. He can't stand the videos. The ads on YouTube, but it's part of letting your kid watch YouTube. I really just think it's amazing that Yang made such a big jump, and that Biden's dropping the way he is, because it's becoming very apparent that he's not going to be the front runner. And I think Bernie's going to put up a big push to the end, but I really see Yang going all the way with this. Between that and the most recent polls that have been released, that are more, online based stuff, not freaking rotary phones. Kidding, landlines. That's an archaic method. I went over that in a different video. Anyway, really big deal for Yang. People are really busting their butts out there. They're trying to make a huge impact, and they are. And I think online is the bigger impact for a lot of people. But door knocking is still an important thing. I'm going to try to do it next weekend. And as we go pushing into this New Hampshire primary and the caucuses in Iowa, Yang Gang is working extra hard to make, huge leaps and bounds. While, Bloomberg obviously is coming right into the thing and just trying to buy his way into it with ads, and I just think it's a really ineffective way. People see on the ground response and all of that. That's I think a bigger impact. Anyway, I wanted to wear the hat and the pin, Pledge for Humanity, and I'm gonna try to kind of do that also this weekend. Make my own little side thing to, I guess, make an impact in the community. It's tough for me to go door knocking because I use a cane and it's a whole thing. But anyway, long story short, I'm not going to go on too long about that, because I think there is some other things that in the polls show in favorability that was kind of odd and concerning, I guess, was for Tulsi a drop in favorability rating. And I'm wondering if that has a huge, she's right at the bottom, unfortunately, and it just seems like to me that there's like the fear of divisiveness because of the way she had voted and impeachment and all that among Democrats. I, for one, am not this is out, a fan of the divisiveness caused by this impeachment. It's going to be really bad. I think it's going to work against Democrats in a lot of ways. As people know, I'm not a traditional Democrat, and I usually don't vote a Democrat. I'm a libertarian, and I kind of feel that way at heart about a lot of things, but a lot more left-leaning, and I think, and that's why I align so much with Yang. But the thing that I'm really concerned about is these similarities between the last election, at least in the aspect of not not at all the primary election, obviously. Nothing like this last time. This is a complete different thing. But the type of like divisiveness that was happening, I think, is just widening. So I guess not similarities, but almost like taking what happened last election and just amplifying it, is it's bad news, because I think that it starts to cause really some like personal life things for people. I don't take politics to heart when it comes to personal friends. I'm friends with a lot of Trump supporters. I live in New Hampshire. A majority of people up here are Trump supporters, but that's the thing. I know a lot of people online and friends that are like Yang or Trump. Like, and I think that this is going to be a concern, like the hashtag Yang or Trump. Like, are there going to be people that we could really win over from the Trump campaign? People that we could win over from the independent pool of voters that don't always vote. I'm one of those people. Are we going to, libertarians? I just think that there is such an exponential thing that's happening right now, that you're just going to see. If you could see the numbers in front of you on a graph of popularity and all of that kind of intertwined, as to like a mean or median kind of measurement, I think you'd see like this spike, and we're just going to keep seeing that go up and up and up, and I think it's going to be very reminiscent of the Obama campaign, probably, only in the way that popularity grew among Democrats, but I don't know for sure. Who knows? This could be something completely organic and new that we haven't experienced before. And I think that there are a lot of similarities that people should look at between Trump and Yang. And not bad similarities. I'm not saying, and this may be more geared towards Trump supporters, maybe not. I'm not looking at this as a negative. He's nothing like the complete opposite. As he said, he's the opposite of Donald Trump. And I agree with that completely, but there are some polar similarities too, in the fact that they're both outsiders, that they came onto a large field of candidates and just started to knock them down, but in a different way. You know, Trump did it with divisiveness and awfulness, and just kind of shredded into some of these guys and just pointed at all their flaws, and they caved in on themselves, like collapsed in on themselves like a dying star. And it happened consistently. But now what we're seeing is kind of almost the same thing, but in a positive way. Yang's just so positive, you know, but he makes valid, true points, and he's not gonna tiptoe around things either, about, you know, shaking the money tree and wine cave. Like, he's very honest, and I think that's gonna continue through the election, and that is going to be what allows him to fight Donald Trump like a Capcom game in the final election. This type of election needs him. And if the Democrats run anybody else, and they continue the previous practices of media silence, which I don't think is going to happen, because I think they are going to start seeing him as a viable candidate, but that's going to go head to head with some people behind the scenes, I think, which is going to be a whole thing if you believe in conspiracies or don't. I am kind of in between on that. Anyway, I think that there is certainly people that do not want him to be the candidate to run against Trump. But they'd be stupid not to if they are for the life of the party that they're trying to reconstruct, because they need to accept people in, kind of like myself, if they want to be that party, right? The party of newness and progressiveness, because progressiveness isn't in just like, oh, we have more options for bathrooms. That's not a dig. I'm saying that as like, there's this heavy focus on progressivism in a social way, but we should also be in the way of thought and open-mindedness to other people and acceptance. And that's why I think in a lot of aspects I do feel more tied to the Libertarian Party, because as chaotic and crazy as they be, with conservatives and anarchists and the whole like, there's something about home that's important for me, and why I kind of gravitate to them. But I will vote Democrat in this election if Andrew Yang is a candidate. Tulsi may have been a second, but there's nobody else that I would have considered really voting for. Unless it comes down to Sanders and Trump, and I really, really, really don't want to vote that way because I think it's gone divisive. I voted for Bernie in the past election, and I think he's a respectable person and an honest human being. I don't agree with him politically on a lot of things, but at the same time, I really do not want Donald Trump to be president again. But I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton in the last election, so be it as it is. I didn't vote for Trump either. I voted for the guy who didn't know what Aleppo was. Protest vote, be it what it is. I think that if we don't go Yang or Trump, I mean, if we don't go that direction, I think a lot of people are. There's some people that are going to that'll lean in and vote against the impeachment. And I see independents and libertarians going that way too. And it's scary because I think that we have a real opportunity here to win them over. And maybe we don't have to coax them in. Maybe it's just going to happen naturally because it's happening right now. But I really, really worry about some of these things. But I want you guys to think about the openness and not attacking people, and being open to their ideas, even if you don't agree with them. Because we can have more unity like we did in past elections. We can have this with this candidate, and I think that that's what we need to be looking at. Because it's not left, it's not right, it's forward. I'll leave you guys with that. Have a great Christmas, holiday, whatever you celebrate. And just care about being with your family. Don't argue about politics. Bring them into Yang Yang if you can, though, without arguing about politics.